In the heart of Igbo land, where the sun kissed the earth with golden warmth, lay Umuola, a village known for its rich traditions and powerful deities. The people were hard-working farmers, weavers and traders, living in harmony with the land. At the center of the village stood the great Iroko tree, where elders gathered to settle disputes. Near it was the sacred shrine of Allah, the goddess of the earth, where offerings were made to ensure fertile lands and bountiful harvests. But beyond the village, deep in the forest, hidden behind ancient trees and thick vines, lay the forbidden well, Ndu Mamiri. No one spoke of it openly, but every child grew up with whispered warnings. Never drink from the well, for it gives wealth at the cost of one's soul. The well was older than the village itself, covered in carvings of forgotten gods, its waters darker than midnight. Only the high priest, the great Dibia Nwokedi, knew its true origin, but one man dared to defy its legend, Obiajulu, a man consumed by greed. Obiajulu was a struggling farmer who lived in a small mud hut with his wife, Neka, and their 2 children. Unlike other men who found joy in simple things, Obiajulu was always dissatisfied. "Why should I suffer?" he often grumbled as he worked the fields. "Ikenna has only 2 hands like me, yet he has more yams, more land, more wealth." Ikenna, his closest friend, was content. He had a loving wife, 5 children, and a farm that provided just enough. "A man who is never satisfied will never find peace," Ikenna warned one evening, but Obiajulu only scoffed. "Peace does not put food on my table." One day, as he struggled with a dying farm and mounting debts, he heard whispers from the village elders. "It is said that the well grants great riches, but only the foolish dare to drink from it." Obiajulu's eyes gleamed with a dangerous idea. That night, under the full moon, Obiajulu sneaked out of his hut and ventured into the forbidden forest. The air grew cold, the trees whispered, and unseen eyes seemed to watch him. At last, he reached the ancient well. A thick mist swirled around it, and strange symbols glowed faintly on the stones. "Spirits of the well," he whispered, "grant me wealth, and I will be forever grateful." A sudden gust of wind roared through the trees. The ground trembled. A shadowy figure rose from the depths of the well, its voice a mixture of many whispers. "We grant wealth, but every gift has a price." Obiajulu, blinded by greed, drank deeply from the well's dark water. A sharp pain shot through his chest, and his eyes turned gold for a brief moment. Then silence. He had done it. By sunrise, everything had changed. Obiajulu's dying crops grew into fields of gold, his yams tripled in size, and traders came from neighboring villages to buy from him. Gold coins filled his once empty hut. He built the biggest compound in Umuola, with carved doors and golden rooftops. His wives dressed in the finest wrappers, and his children ate food fit for kings. At festivals, Obiajulu threw lavish feasts, feeding the village with roasted goats and palm wine that never ran dry. He was now the wealthiest man in Umuola. But something was wrong. One night, as Obiajulu admired his wealth, his younger son Ikenna suddenly fell ill. The boy, once strong, now withered away like a dying leaf. No dibia, healer, could cure him. Then his first wife, Neka, vanished. She had gone to fetch water but never returned. A week later, his eldest daughter lost her voice, her lips moving without sound. Strange footsteps echoed in his compound at night. The walls whispered his name. Obiajulu knew deep inside the well had come to collect its price. Desperate, he ran to Dibia Nwokedi, the high priest. The old man, with eyes like burning coals, listened. Then he sighed. "The well is a trap. It gives but never stops taking." "But what can I do?" Obiajulu begged. "You must return what was given, or it will take all you love." But how could he return gold and riches? Before he could decide, tragedy struck. One by one, his wives, children, and servants vanished. His crops withered. His wealth turned to dust. Soon he was left alone in an empty mansion, haunted by whispers and shadows. In his dreams, he saw the well, its waters now blood red, filled with faces of those it had taken. Then he heard the final warning: a man who steals from the gods must pay in full. In one last attempt to save himself, Obiajulu returned to the forbidden well, his body weak, his heart full of regret. "I return everything! Please spare me!" he cried. But the well does not forgive. The ground cracked open. A dark hand shot out and grabbed him by the leg. With one final scream, Obiajulu was pulled into the well's depths, never to be seen again. The next morning, the villagers found the well sealed with ancient stones, its whispers finally silenced. And thus, the legend of the forbidden well lived on.